Yo, 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 yo. What up? What up? Shanna, Jason. I love it. The Ewings are in the building. Same OG. What up, man? Andre T, what's to it? R. Scott, T. Rich, what's happening? What's going on, everybody? We back. I'm back. I'm back. I made it back. I want to apologize early for having to cut the live off a couple nights ago. Uh, Cut it off early. I had some real important stuff going on. The Boston Celtics was playing the Golden State Warriors in Game 5, and that was a pivotal game in the series, and I just didn't want to miss it. Sorry, guys, but I can't lie to you about what happened. Fat Guy with Guns, what's up? Corey, what's to it, man? Black Point Dexter, what it do? JL Customs, my dog, what's happening? SD Marine, what's up? Ramsey J, what's the word? Big Zoe, what up, dog? Liberty Acres, Tangin' Real Deal, what's going on? Big Easy, what's to it, man? So I'm gonna continue, man. I want to talk about it because I ain't gonna lie. This is the weird part, right? The conversation was so good the other day. Like, I mean, it was amazing. It was a couple hundred people in here. It was amazing, and I just left. I'm rude for that. I want to apologize to everybody. And my team lost. That's probably why, because whatever, man. But thank goodness I ain't going to lie tomorrow because I probably end up doing the same thing. Ghetto, what up? Chris Stevenson, what's good, man? Huck Reed, what's to it? 2A in LA, what up? E Money. Anybody I may have missed? DMV Bison, what's up? One in the chamber, what's to it? What's to it? What's to it? New York City, what's to it, my brother? My Fly family, what's the word? What's the word? AK Lover, what up, dog? Where you been, man? Been a minute. Silverback, what's up? Yo, I gotta say happy birthday to my little homie though, Alex. I think Alex turned 26. Well, I think he turned 11, but he's 26. Smart kid is what I'm trying to say. So happy birthday, Alex, man. All right. I got to say happy birthday to Alex. Skillionaire, what up? Skilly, I didn't speak to you, man. I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. When I say Skillionaire, what up? That's speaking to you, man. Boy, I got to get you some help. Lawrence, what's up? What's going on, man? I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes Skilly be throwing me off. Frederick Jones, what's up? Montreal Day, what's to it? He said, what up, pimpin'? What's happening, man? What's the move? What's the move? Danica, what's to it? Hillbilly. AR77. Man, I'm glad everybody getting in here, man. Y'all make sure I hit the like button, man, because I want to kind of continue where we left off. It's kind of a touchy subject. Now, what I was noticing before we got off live the last time was, everybody's kind of on the same side of the fence, right? Because we all 2A, we talking about how you don't want your rights taken, and obviously we don't. Rock Bezzy, what's up? But we need to, I guess, I want to hear some people, because some people are gonna have some other views on this, right? They might view it a different way. So I'm open to hear both sides. I'm not gonna let it get out of hand. We don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm saying? It's a button I got here, and it only take one click to stop anything I want to stop. It's pretty dope. Great invention. Ready Reg, what up? KCO Foe, CW, what's good, man? North Florida, what's up, man? But it was some super duper interesting points of views. And then we've had another day of media, another day of news. Another day of all types of stuff going on. Tap in. What up, bro? What's the move? So, yo.
What up?
What's good, bro?
Good.
Chilling.
What up, everybody?
Man, why you just yell, bro? For no reason.
I don't know. Did I get louder?
You yelled. Like when you said "what up," you yelled at them. You probably offended some people.
That might be my computer.
You yelled at them.
I don't think that's me.
It was definitely you that yelled, man. And I ain't bring nobody else in the chat. Chris Lockhart, what up?
What up, Chris?
I don't know why he yelling, y'all. You have to excuse him. He be having mood swings.
Sometimes.
I want fat guy with guns to get on the soapbox again. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. What up, Urban Gardener? Ghetto, CW, Mr. Wilk.
Urban Gardener, what up? Mr. Wilk, what's good? So,
Devil Roll, what up, man?
Devil Roll, what's the move? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start getting the link out here early, but I wanna continue, man. It's weird, right? Because I was about to say, I hope I didn't miss too much. Cuzzo, what up? But I stopped the live.
Yeah,
I'm saying it like it was somebody else's live.
You was right there and then cut it off.
Yeah, I'm saying it like it was somebody else's live.
You put Saul Gang in the
what up, brother? Definitely been a long time. What's up, man?
Skilly. I told you about that sugar on grits crap.
Joshua B, what up? Skilly trying to get kicked out?
Yeah, talking about every time he goes somewhere, he gonna put SOG in the chat for sugar on grits. I told him if he do that, what's gonna happen? What was gonna happen to him?
Boy, I'm gonna figure out something else for SOG. You know, I'm gonna figure that out.
What up, $2? What up, STD?
I'm gonna come up with something that SOG stand for. Before I get going though, I think we just put the link out there. I'm gonna let Billy come in, so we're gonna say happy birthday to Alex, and then we're gonna get right back to it. Alex, what's up, man? Hold on, let me find my
Alex. What up, Alex?
Get my stuff together.
What up, CDL?
Yo.
What up? What up?
Yo. The double G and Zachy Zach. What's good?
What's up, man? Happy birthday.
Yo, because he sounds like me in the morning and stuff, right?
Right. He definitely your son. For real.
I think he been drinking for his birthday. Alex, what you do? What you been doing, man? You had a drink?
Might have had one of them Bacardi spritzers.
I hope not. Say no, Alex. Whatever you do, say no. You only how old did you turn there? 11?
No. You just said
12? 10?
Say no to everything, right?
He said say no to everything.
So no, I'm not 11.
Alex, don't. Alex, watch this. You see how easy that is? Don't confuse me, bro. I know it's your birthday, but I have no problem pressing the button. All right,
real quick, real quick.
What you been sipping on, man?
Hey, what you get for your birthday, bro? What you get? Did you get any cool gifts? I got a serious subject tonight, but since I care about you and I think you're a dope kid, I'm taking a few minutes out of my life to say happy birthday to you personally, and I want to find out what's going on down there. Make sure you're good. You all right down there?
Yeah.
Look at your dad one more time when I ask you a question. I'm hanging up on both of y'all. Come on, man. What are you doing?
I got a game.
All right.
And I got lots of money from different people.
Thank you.
Alex, I will be calling you after the live because Uncle broke right now. All right.
I'll send you a couple of dollars.
Hey, you know what? I do want to send a special thank you to everybody out there that sent him money for ammo, gifts, birthday gifts, all that, man. Fish, big shout out. I spoke to that brother today. He's gonna be so excited. Dust,
what up?
Knowledge, But I wanted to save this moment. I swear, I just got off of work through the door about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I wanted to share this part before it got too serious. I wanted to be able to share this with y'all. He got a couple cards. If it's all right with y'all, I'm gonna be fast, I promise. Yeah, these are for you. Happy birthday. One is from his parents.
Nice.
They're empty. And who's this one from?
All right. You don't have to read it. Just who's it? Carbon Q.
That one's from Carbon Q.
Carbon Q. Okay.
My birthday just came and went when Carbon Q didn't. Get none. I wanted to give this to him while we're on the live. So happy birthday, Al.
Wait, let me.
Oh man, open that up, Alex. I need to see what you got.
Wait, I want to read this card.
Oh, no, damn. Damn.
Not read it, but is this
It's from mom and dad.
I want to read the card.
What is
Could you
weirdo?
not do that? Could you do that different next time? Just
Open it up here.
This is
We got
heavy.
good. What we got?
This thing is heavy.
Yeah, what we got?
oh man.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Oh man, let me see if I can guess what Roblox. No, that's
Roblox.
Legos.
Help me. Oh,
Whoa!
look at this. Look, wait, hold on. Look at that.
Oh, that's the cat
Whoa.
right out.
Now I won't open this because of live thing. Wait, actually, no, I can show it.
Go ahead.
I can show it.
No, go ahead, Alex. Go ahead. Hurry up.
I can't carry it, but
Dang. Let me see. Let me see what you got, man. Let me see it. We're gonna bend the rules tonight.
look at this.
Ooh, look at that.
Oh, snap. Yes.
Wait, is this?
I was wondering, bro. You think I can shoot that? When I come down to Georgia, you think you can?
Don't shoot it.
You can let me shoot that, bro.
I'll let you shoot in. I'll let you and Zach shoot it for 2 cents. All right, 2 cents, fine.
For 2 cents.
Yes, 2 cents.
Unbelievable.
You like it?
Well,
Ikea.
here's a quarter.
Thank you.
Here
Happy
you go.
birthday, Alex.
Yes.
Thank you.
I didn't know it was your birthday. What's your catch app? What's up? We gonna bless you.
But
I'll throw it in the chat.
All right. Well, I can't see the chat, so somebody's gonna have to while I'm on
We'll text
here.
it to you. We'll text it to you.
Yeah, that would be cool. We gotta hook this young brother up. You are not 10, well 11, right? 11?
11, yeah.
Ain't no way. Ain't
Hey,
no
JL, I saw that. I saw that.
Yo, shout out to Big Zach, Fat Guy with Guns, for enabling me, set me on the right direction to be able to do that. You know, shout out to all y'all.
That's a blessing, man.
Kid, you looking extra young
that was
tonight.
A great father moment. You should
Thank
go
you.
back and screen record this.
Yeah, it was a great
That was a
photo.
great parent moment. You should have had Eric and everything. But
I just-
Yeah, man.
I just
I'm
wanted
gonna-
to say, like, what you and Erica have done with Alex is just phenomenal. I've never seen a child that advanced and that mature. I'm sure he is 11, all of 11. He has his 11 moments, but he has, in my opinion, he acts like he's 16, 17.
It's easy. All you do is get yourself a nice wooden spoon, and they'll do anything.
Oh my gosh.
Not the wooden spoon.
Oh,
Oh man. But yeah, I do appreciate y'all, man. 100%, man.
no
And
doubt, man. That's my
I
little homie. Right?
appreciate y'all accepting him, you know. He's a little weird and awkward sometimes, but so am I.
weren't we all?
We all
definitely
weird.
weird and awkward. But I don't know about him, but you I can vouch for.
Yeah.
Cabo, what's up, brother?
What up,
So
Kyle?
we're gonna get to this, man. We got a serious subject. So hopefully we loosened everybody up with the Alex thing. We're gonna get down to business, man. Happy birthday, Alex. I got you, brother, when I get off of this live.
Happy birthday.
If I do forget, which I'm known to do, I'll take care of you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Roblox.
really see me because I have an issue right now. But thank you.
Zach, you know what happens when he gets excited.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Alex, you crying?
No. It's
He's that
Oh, no.
excited. He's that excited.
You got
must
something in
be,
your eye?
Look,
Damn.
I got a nosebleed right now.
Damn.
I told y'all it'd be like this.
Oh damn! All
Stop
right,
the- Stop the bleed.
get that nose stopped up.
Yeah,
Evan.
go somewhere and breathe, man.
That is a lot.
You gotta go sit in front of the AC. It was a hot day today.
98 today.
100 in Albany.
Speaking of 100, can everybody that's in here please do me a huge favor, man? Hit the like button for me if y'all just got in. We up over 100 people now. This is gonna be. We're gonna get down to business. This thing is gonna get really good. Twitter CGE, what up? My son is in the building. So we're gonna get to part 2 of this. And again, I apologize for cutting the live short the other day. Brian Bridges, what's up, man?
Selfish.
I did put the link out there, or it's out there again. I didn't do. Never mind. The link is out there again. If you guys want to get in and touch on this subject, so what we're talking about mainly is gun rights, our gun rights, right? What's changing? What do you see changing? Is there anything you're concerned about? Do you think it's just another ploy? You know, do we have a lot to worry about? So that's kind of the thing. Hey, Skilly, I really want to tell you what JL Custom said SOG stand for.
I want to know what it stands for.
Son of a gun?
No.
No, that would,
sure.
that would be rather innocent.
Straight up gangster?
No, that's SUG.
That would be SUG.
Oh, dang.
But I'll get into that. I'll get into that on another live. But we're gonna definitely get down to business in this. So while the guys I have on here now, Zach, you had said some great things the other day. You gave your opinion on this stuff passionately. Billy, you gave some information the other day as well. Kia, do you have thoughts on this? What's crowding the media right now? Like it's been pretty crazy for 2A.
Well, yeah, I think since I'm a publicist, my mind is trained to look at the news in a different perspective. So every time I open up, for instance, my laptop, and you've got the home page for the internet, it just seems now that anything where anybody got shot doing anything with a gun is on the front page. But what I want people to understand is that this has been happening all along. They just didn't put it on the front page for news. And we all know that the slogan is, if it bleeds, it leads. So anything related to this issue, they're going to bring it to the forefront, and consequently it'll change the mindset of people to say, yes, it's everywhere, see, when it's been that way all along. I would say one thing that I've been thinking about is all these people who would say our ancestors died so that we had the right to vote. Well, guess what? Our ancestors also died so that we could defend ourselves. Sometimes the only thing that kept us alive was, daddy or mommy on the front porch with a shotgun when the rioters came into town to burn their houses down, or to keep your brother from being dragged off to being lynched. So if you want to, kick and scream about our ancestors died for something, do not forget about our right to bear arms.
Deep. Like that.
What up, Eddie?
Like that. ET, what's up? What's good? What's good? I got some people here waiting. My man out in Los Angeles.
Hey. I'll get out of the live.
In LA.
What up, fam?
Kia, make sure you stay in the chat with us. Stay in the chat with us.
Okay, I'll be in the chat.
All right,
okay.
Peace.
All right, peace.
2A in LA. What up, brother?
So I just wanted to stop in for a minute and holler at you guys. I think that, part of the problem is there is no context in the media when they talk about, gun violence. And I think if they just spoke with, I don't even have a problem if somebody's argument is that we should be disarmed, but just say that that's what you want to do and provide context to it. I think that a lot of people don't realize, man, we got 400 million guns in this country, 400 million, more guns than people, 300 million people. in the country, 400 million guns.
Hmm.
We have about 30 to 40,000 gun deaths on average annually. Okay, now I'm not slighting, one life lost is a tragedy. And I'm not trying to slight that, but I think again, there needs to be context that those 30 to 40,000 gun deaths every year is 0.01 of 1%.
Right.
Okay. Now you take a closer look at that 30 to 40,000, 60 to 65% of those are suicides. So they're not people out there, mass murdering and doing all this kind of thing. 60 to 65% of those deaths are suicide. And if you think that, oh, well, if we eliminated added gun control, then we would eliminate suicides. If you look at the deaths in our country, non-gun, that's a huge number too. So if they didn't have guns, they'd be committing suicides by other way. I think what it really needs, where the discussion needs to be focused relative to that, is the state of mental health in our country. Are we giving people access to the medical attention that they need to be healthy? You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's part of it. And then if you look at the lion's share of the rest of it, it is inner city violence. It is places where people live on top of one another, where there is lack of access to quality education, lack of access to upward mobility, lack of access to quality health care, that leads to gangs and guns and drugs, etc. And those make up the lion's share of the rest of the gun deaths. Mass shootings make up less than 1% of the gun deaths in our country every year, yet they fixate on them like they're the majority of it. And so for me, it's just a little frustrating that we don't have any context when we have these conversations. More people die from blunt instruments every year, like a fist or a hammer or a bat, than they do from AR-15s. But I don't hear anybody pulling, hammers off the shelves at Home Depot or pulling bats off the shelf at Dick's Sporting Goods. So again, I just think there needs to be some context when we're having this conversation. And I'll just add this as a throw in, and then I'll get out, is that I don't think, I think people need to be we need to be focused on mental health. We need to be focused on the growing wealth gap and disparity between the have and have nots in our country, which lead to violence. But also, I'd say that gun control in and of itself is inherently racist. If you look at the earliest gun laws that are on the books, they were designed to keep freed slaves from owning firearms.
Facts.
And it's been that way from then all the way through gun control in California, sparking up in direct response to the Black Panthers in the 60s and 70s. So for me, as somebody who has been free for about 50 years as a Black man, I'm not trying to be disarmed. Not doing it. So those are my thoughts, brother. Hopefully, that added something to the conversation.
No, absolutely, you did. And I think you being in California, where gun laws are some of the toughest in the country, a lot of what's, I just kicked the table and broke my toe. A lot of what's going on, a lot of the changes that we're seeing that are being proposed, you're already dealing with them.
Facts.
They already exist there.
And they're not
they already exist here for the most part.
And they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything but impair, law-abiding citizens. I said this in the chat the other day. There are two things that you cannot legislate. You can't legislate crazy, and you can't legislate criminals. Criminals, by their nature, don't care about breaking the laws. That's why, by definition, they are criminals, because they're fine with breaking the law. So you creating legislation is not going to stop them from getting access to the over 400 million guns in our country, not to mention the ones that are flooding in illegally all the time. And you can't legislate people who have mental health disease. If that were the case, if it were that easy, I'm pretty sure there's laws against mass murder, but that doesn't stop anybody, right? So what are additional gun laws going to do to prevent that? And so again, I just think, just from a common sense perspective, it doesn't make any sense. And when you look at the numbers, to me, it's all misdirect. It's throwing another gun law on the books already, and that's the other thing I hear a lot. Oh, we got to start somewhere. Well, we got over 300 federal gun laws in place and thousands of gun laws at the federal level. You live in Chicago, which is also very much, regulated relative to gun laws, and that doesn't seem to be stopping the violence there the same way it's not stopping it in South Central here or Compton. And so again, y'all, I just think it's misdirection, and people don't want to deal with the real issue in the country, which is the state of our mental health, and with the growing disparity between the have and have-nots that lead to people being desperate and willing to try to find refuge in gangs and selling drugs and other things like that. So that's just my 2 cents.
Man, brother, that was profound.
Because they're never going.
What's up, Siege? What's up, Kick Up Dust? What's up, everybody just came in?
Talk about the money. You can't talk about the money because everybody that gives out information is rich. The guy on the news, he's making $1 million+ a year. The politicians are getting all types of donations and they're making a real good salary. Everybody who's supposed to represent the common man is freaking wealthy.
Yeah.
How the hell you know what I'm going through when you don't know how much a gallon of milk costs, or how much it costs to get a loaf of bread, or buy a pair of socks? You can't represent me properly. They're never going to talk about the money because that's what it always boils down to, the money and poverty. Because if a young kid had the choice between having to go out and stick somebody up and eat, or having a way to go somewhere and make some money so that he can eat, he'd rather not go stick somebody up.
Yep.
But they're not gonna say that. I'm against that whole gun violence thing. I don't like that. There's violence. There's no gun violence. There's violence. You just use a gun, you use a bat, you use a stick, a knife, or whatever. There's no that gun violence. They use that stuff against gun owners like us to make us try to feel a certain way. There's no gun violence. I don't believe in that. There's just violence and crime. They use those buzzwords to make us seem a certain way.
Hey, I'm surprised to see you. How you doing, Kick Up? Kick Up Dust. How you doing, real deal? You don't look nothing like Kick Up Dust.
No. Y'all got the same earlobes. What up?
Look, RGG, I'm gonna jump out the chat, man, but I appreciate the time.
Hey, man, that was super dope, man. Actually, I think that you just broke it down in a way that makes it really really well understood, man. Because that was deep. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, bro. Take care, Lord.
All right, bro. Be safe.
Yes, sir.
Man, that is crazy, man. Both of y'all just said some really good stuff, man. New York City.
New York. So
What up?
What's up, dog?
I want to say I agree with the health issue stuff, but we got to be careful with that because that's a slippery slope by itself. I have a friend that suffers from depression, and he's a gun owner, and not once has he ever thought about taking his life. You know what I'm saying? And he goes and sees a therapist. He's on medication for his depression and stuff. So that's a slippery slope. If you remember, Obama was trying to make a law saying that if you were on Social Security, you couldn't own a gun because people on Social Security usually have mental health issues and they shouldn't be able to own guns. So that's a slippery slope. That's something we're going to need to talk about and debate. That's a long debate about mental health, I think.
Do you feel that at that debate, is there a solution or is it just opinions?
I think there could be a solution, but unfortunately, I think it's a bunch of opinions.
May I interject?
I like this. Wait a minute. Before I say anything else. Real deal, you in the bathroom?
I'm in the hallway, man. Getting ready to clock out. I'll be there for another.
Yeah, that echo.
Oh, I'm leaving right now. Clocking out.
Drop one.
My day of work is over.
I was like, he really had to get in here, boy.
Yo,
See,
I
I
just
like she said women have a unique perspective. If a man crawls through my window to attack me in my home, I want to be able to defend myself. 911 can't save me when he kicks in my door.
I think
I couldn't
that's
agree
true.
more.
That's true for anybody, not just for women. If I'm sitting at home and I don't have anything to defend myself with, some guy come busting up in there, he got a shotty or whatever, and I'm basically, I mean, I could try to disarm him or try to do something, but there's no guarantee that's going to happen. If you got somebody else with him, I may be shot and dead. So I mean, that counts towards anyone. It's
but I just
they don't care about us, man. That's all that is.
Zach, you're right. This is what I think. I just think they're just chipping away and whittling away at kids. For like, we grew up in an era where we just started really getting into firearms and firearms education, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like my oldest son grew up in a house with firearms. And I remember when Parkland happened, all his friends and all these kids were out there marching. Every one of his little clique, everybody, parents owned guns. So I just think it's a nefarious move to chip away at these kids and their kids. And once they knock out their kids, the mindset has changed.
That's right.
It's not this generation. It's 10, 20, maybe 25 years down the line. Once you chip away and whittle away at enough of these little kids, change their mindset and force feed them certain bits of information, it's going to change everything. You'll see.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's up to us to make sure it doesn't happen. That's basically with your children.
Like what Billy's doing, that's an anomaly right now. And I'm just saying in the black community with Alex, that's an anomaly. Because I remember like maybe a year ago, I was talking to one of my cousins. I'm like, yo, you own firearms, da da da. He was like, he moved back to New York. They were target practicing outside on a stop sign. And I'm looking at him like, yo, son, really? Like, you left BK, moved to Florida, you legally got all your joints back, but you're doing some real ignorant, you know what, on the block. For what? Go upstate, drive that hour, 2 hours, or go to LI and teach this kid properly. But it's just like some are causing chaos, and then the others are just dumb, deaf, and blind, and it's gonna allow these kids just to be chipped away and not know their rights.
There's such a stigma to
Hey, turn
it.
the wind down a little bit, real deal.
It's such a stigma to it. I was with little Zach, and he was in the back of the car. One of the little kids that he went to school with, and we had took him somewhere. And we left some foam ear protection in the back in the seat. So they started talking, and Zach's like, "Yeah, I have guns." And he's like, "No, your father has guns." Like, "No, I have guns that my daddy bought for me that I own that belong to me." And it's like even hearing my wife hear him say that, she was like sort of like wanting him to be quiet about it, because you don't want people to think, oh, that he owns guns. Well, hell yeah, what's wrong with that? He's a regular American little boy. That's what American little boys do. They own rifles and firearms and shit.
But it's like you said, it's the stigma.
Yeah, it's like some people look at you weird when they're not into what, if they're not a part of the culture, right? So like that's like saying, oh, these people, this a group of these people, and they know how to make snowmen out of Jello. And then when they tell you, they'd be like, "Wait, you make snowmen out of Jello?" And then you don't want nobody to say that because you seem like you a little out of place because everybody don't make snowmen out of Jello. It's just like I'm saying. I know it sounds crazy, but it's that's how some people look. That's how weird some people look at gun ownership when they're not a part of it.
And I can tell you one last thing. Like I had a couple people hit me up based on y'all videos everybody was posting. Like, yo, y'all in some type of revolutionary militia ready to march and take over. I'm sitting there like, yo, son, really? Like, we do this. I've been doing this for a minute, and I think everybody else has. You know, we all own guns. I'm gonna say I shouldn't have had them back in the days, but I got them right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But some of just the crazy stuff that was just coming out some people's mouths. Like, oh, y'all ready to take over? You know, your door's gonna get kicked in, and this and that. They're coming for your kids and crazy.
They've been conditioned to think that.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot with us.
Yeah.
We're conditioned to think that it's just this big bad thing that, oh my God, you have guns. Yes, I have 100 guns. So what?
You in the streets hustling. So Is this crazy? And especially for people up north.
Well,
Let me ask y'all opinion on something. If a child grows up, turns 16, 17, goes to get their driver's license, they have to take this 8-hour class before they're allowed to have the freedom to drive as they want and as they will. Would it be a bad thing
yes.
that your first legal purchase, you would have to take a class? And I know a lot of, states might already do this, but a class that not only how to operate, but the penalties of doing certain things and ways to defend yourself and storage and all that, et cetera. Just a proper, good ownership manual or layout. Just one time, just like driving. You just take it once, you pass it, and you can go drive. Take it once, you pass it, you can own a firearm. Get as much as you want after that. Is that crazy?
Yes. I don't agree with that because, and this is how I break it down. Driving is a privilege. 2A is my constitutional right. So why are you putting strings on my rights? Take that concept and say that for the First Amendment. You're 16, you're 18. You have to take an 8-hour class on what free speech is and what you can say in public and what you can't say in public.
I think you may have misunderstood his point, because I think what he said, it made sense. It's not about doing something to hurt your Second Amendment rights. It's something that will be put in place so to give a person a foundation. That's the way. Unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, Billy. Like a kid, a basic safety, something so he knows how to handle whatever or knows how to deal with whatever. Something like that wouldn't adversely affect your 2A rights. That would basically help it. It wouldn't
Educate.
Be adversely for it. Yeah, it would educate on it.
I still disagree with it because you're putting strings on my 2A rights. I mean,
at a certain point,
do it? Absolutely. Do I think they should be educated and take training classes? Absolutely. But don't make it mandatory for me to practice my constitutional right.
I get that, but at a certain point, I glorify my child's safety more than anybody's 2A rights. So if my child can go through a safety class, if that's the road that he wants to walk, and in order for him to walk that road, he has to sit down for 8 hours of his life.
Learn.
That to me is more.
But that's awesome. If you want your child to do that, then you should do that. Then you should enroll your child into a class. But why does it have to be mandatory for everybody?
I just feel that there's a lot of, like 2A in LA said, a lot of the deaths, either death or accidents, happen from negligence, from people who go by and just don't know.
Ignorance.
And I think if we can bring that level down a bit, I think 2A would soar. I think our rights would be less messed with. But here we have a bunch of, at the end of the day, in their eyes, in the media's eyes, a bunch of uneducated people waving around guns crazy.
Well, then somebody should start a program to give free education to teenagers about guns. But I understand what you're saying, and it makes sense, Billy. But the way I see it is, so we make this mandatory. I'm giving up certain freedoms for security, for safety. And anytime, and I'm in the mind frame of anytime you give up freedom for a little bit of security, you deserve neither of it.
I hear that. I hear that said all the time, and I always think about that statement. I think about it, and I don't know where I fall in that statement.
See, now I'm at a point where I'm listening to both guys, and I agree with both of y'all.
Yeah, because
I see what Billy's saying, but I also 100% see what Real Deal's saying. Like if
can't force it.
Gun ownership is a right. It is our right. It's our God-given right. If you put some sort of stipulation on it, any type, right? Even though what you're saying makes all the sense in the world. Training, education, educating kids on the firearms, before they own their first one. Yeah, it does make sense. But I think I'm with I think Tap In just said it out there in the chat, man. I mean, Mr. Wilkes said it. We got to be responsible for doing that.
That's right.
Right now, until gun ownership is accepted, legal gun ownership should just be accepted. It shouldn't be something that we got to keep worrying about being taken away or, I'll post a link for you, BP.
The problem there lies in there are not enough voices and enough images being promoted of positivity with the firearms. It's like the anti-gunners got a movement, and people who like firearms and promote firearms, regardless of color, are not clicking up and doing a good job about educating and teaching. Like even down here in South Florida, there was a sister who she had like a little movement going on. It's damn near dead after COVID. People ain't showing up, people ain't doing this. There were the Sunday night shoots at one of the local parks around here. People just are not showing up. People just are not on it right now, really working hard to unite. But I'm gonna fall back, let heads jump in. Do y'all? RGG, who you got tonight? Who you got? Because I know you had to sign off early the other night, brother.
It's tomorrow night, for the record, and
it's tomorrow night.
I bet money on Boston months back, man. So I'm a little hurt right now, but we're gonna see what happened. They did it in the last 2 series. They won 2 in a row at the end. I'm hoping they can do the same thing here.
I'm gonna fall back. Peace, everybody.
And legends live forever. I keep saying that. If the Democrats don't get in office, we don't have to worry. That's a bullshit narrative. That is not true. That's not true.
Yeah, we're gonna have to worry about anybody.
It's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's about a political class, like I said, an aristocracy against everybody. It's not about one side is against one. Let me tell you something. If for some reason the quote unquote Republicans thought that it was advantageous to take all your guns away so they can have more power, they do that shit in a minute. You need to understand that. That's why I stopped. That's a bullshit narrative, that Democrat Republican thing. I hate both of them because they're both full of shit because they don't care nothing about any of us. But that's a bullshit narrative. Or if we just put Republicans in, everything will be fine. That's bullshit.
Well, no, that's not. No, but right now, the Republicans are saving us because every crazy gun law is going through the House.
That's not true. That's not even true.
Let me finish, and then you can rebut. I'm not saying Republicans are awesome because they suck, right? But every gun law that they're trying, every crazy gun law is going through the House. Why? Because it's all left-wing, progressive Democrats. So everything's going through the House. It's stopping at the Senate. And the only reason why it's stopping at the Senate right now is because they have enough votes to say no. And the reason why they have enough votes right now is because the Republicans are saying no. Now, am I saying the Republicans are our savior? Absolutely not. Republicans are the dirty SOBs of the world, just like Dems are. And right now we got the right Republicans saying no. Now, they tomorrow they can go in the back room and say, hey man, if you say yes, you get an extra $10 million towards your committee or whatever, and they'll say, okay, that sounds good. They'll sell us out quicker than anybody else.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, right now they're stopping the crazy gun laws. I'm not saying
that's what they do already. And you want to know something? These and this is the funny part about it, because when you say that, this whole thing that's happening now with this little small chip away that they're trying to do, you know who's co-signing that? 10 plus Republicans. So it will make it through the Senate. It's gonna make it. That's why I say.
Well, it's stopped right now.
What they feel is advantageous at that time. And they think that doing that is advantageous right now because they're like, we got to do something, because if not, this is an election year, and if we don't, people might turn on us. That's what it always boils back down to, the same thing.
Let me listen. I got a line forming backstage, so I don't want to take up the
I'll get out.
Okay, real deal. You can come back, but I want to start getting people in.
Just kick me out.
I'm gonna jump out real quick,
and you can put me back.
Go blow out some candles, man. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all. I'll pop back in.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday, Alex.
He in there looking at it. I'm gonna go in there and look at it too. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace.
All right. VP, what's up, my brother?
How's it going, RGG? How's it going, man? Zach, what's up?
What up, Chris?
I just wanted to say just a few things. There's a lot of truth and there's a lot of common ground here, but I think, in my thoughts and opinion, a lot of it is, like Zach said, a false narrative. They have us talking on these talking points, which really don't amount to anything, really don't change anything, really don't move anybody forward. You have two parties who are in cahoots with one another to benefit themselves, to look like they're doing something. I'm living in a state that's doing that 100%, Texas, Republicans-led state. So really, that whole narrative that they're saving us or one's better than the other, we all know, if we really look at the end of the day, they're all in the game to get rich at the end of the day. And we're all, not even in the boat, trying to hang on to the edge of the boat, just trying to survive. So the question is, how do we as a community, we who are the disenfranchised, and that's everybody, because if you're not making, a certain amount of money, even if you're making a decent amount, you're seeing how people are suffering right now. You go to the store, see the empty shelves, you look at your bank account, you go to the gas station, everybody is in the same boat. So as far as the 2A question is, how do we build and sustain institutions that change the narrative? We can't do it by yelling and screaming. We can't do it by, reacting to whatever comes out of, the right or the left. We have to build institutions and common ground. There are a lot of institutions that are out there that are doing positive things, but a lot of us are on the sidelines, hooting and hollering and this and that and the other, and reacting to distractions that are going on over here that are generated by the media, by the left and the right, and all those other trigger words that come up that separate all of us and get us all saying, well, I feel this, I feel that. And there's a commonality we need to come to and understand so we can all move forward and have and maintain the rights to bear arms and defend ourselves, because we're on our own. So we have to come up with solutions, proactive solutions, and build those so that people like Alex don't have to go back and redo the same thing all over again. We need organizations that change the narrative. And so they see Alex when he's growing up, and he's a responsible, powerful young man. You see the Survival Sisters. And I love, Michi X talked about it last night, how their father is teaching them how to be, proactive and giving them options. And that's what he said. He's giving them options so that they don't have to depend on the police. They don't have to do this. So he's teaching them all these skill sets and all these things so that if anything happens, they have options. We have to give ourselves and our kids and our communities options, because the system is not doing that. So until we start coming together and participating in these organizations that are out here, I don't care what it is. If it's pro 2A and it's doing some positive, get in there and do something. We have to get off of our asses and talking on here on YouTube, because it doesn't change shit. We have to be active. And the organization that you want to be part of may not be perfect, but then it's your damn job to get in there and make it better. You can't sit on the sideline and say, well, I'm not going to join them because I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way RGG wears his hat. Or I don't like.
Yeah.
That doesn't change anything. Get in there and make a damn difference. Make a difference in your home, your household. Start with you, and then go into, your family, and then go into the community. But there's tons of organizations. So I'm not pro this, pro that, whatever organization it is. If it's doing positive things, get your ass out there and get involved with it. And that's what makes change. Doing something, not pontificating and yelling and screaming and looking good. Well, that sounded good. Pontificating.
It's your show. You don't have to put your hand
like
up.
being pious, like a preacher or a bishop sitting up there and talking holier than thou, fronting basically.
Okay. Thank you, bro. I'm glad you caught on to that. Mr. Stevenson, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right. I wanted to come on last
up,
show because it's basically what you guys have touched on already is basically what I wanted to say. And it's education within first before anything else.
Exactly.
Any and all, and this is just my own opinion, any laws that are passed is a hit in the 2A community, period. anything that we allow. So if I touch on what Billy was saying, that, well, we have to give and take. Well, that's how it all starts. You give an inch, they take a mile. And I look at when I was growing up as a child, and my dad was the teacher of my 2A.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, plain and simple. I mean, it wasn't the government's responsibility to tell him, you have to put your child through this, or you have to do that. It was his responsibility as a man with a son to teach his son everything he knew. It's not the government's responsibility to pass a law saying you've got to take your kid through a hunter safety, through, and I mean, and you see where I'm going. So any law that we agree to just to get them to leave us alone is only going to be as good as the paper it's written on and the ink that they use to write with, because we have thousands of laws already that don't work and they're not even implied. So every time you give them a blade of grass,
they want to take a whole lawn.
The next time they're going to have a whole lawn. I mean, really, adding more laws is wrong. It's not going to solve the problems. It's not going to solve the issues. And what's going to solve the problems and the issues are just exactly what BP said, was we all got to come together in some way, shape, or form, and we all have to get involved and do something and say, no, enough is enough. Because what you are implying doesn't work. It's proven that it doesn't work, and it's not going to work. I think that the state of this country's mental health it's more socially acceptable, that if you have issues, it's more socially acceptable now to at least be able to say, I have depression, or I have a disability, or whatever. And that's great. And there are people out there that need help, but we can't, you can't sit back and use that as an excuse that the state of this country's mental health is out of whack. Because you think about all these men that came back from World War II, right? What did they do? They came back, they lived their lives, they dealt with their crap, and that didn't make them, crazy. They just did what they did. That was the nature back then. You dealt with your stuff internally and you moved forward. And if the country wants to move forward in a positive way, the 2A community wants to move forward in a positive way, everybody has to come together, regardless of what organization you're a member of, what race, sexuality, orientation, all of that stuff means nothing, because media, government, they want us to fight amongst ourselves.
Exactly.
To hide
all the other
and
stuff
not
they're doing.
see what they're doing in the background.
There you
go. Okay. So I sit in being the minority in this group, and I don't necessarily agree 100% with a lot of things that you guys talk about, but that's okay, because I get a different perspective on how you guys see things. But everybody has the exact same rights. That is the law. We all do. It doesn't make a difference what color you are, what sex you are, what you classify yourself as, or anything else like that. I don't have to agree with the way you live your life, but we all have this commonality of we abide by these rules set forth. You can go out and get a job, start making money, and Uncle Sam's just going to take it away from you, So that's what they're going to do in the 2A. Every single time we agree to anything, one party or the other, if it goes to the voters and the voters vote on it, when we give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. It might take many generations, but they're going to do it. And they've done it. I just think back when I was a kid, my dad, he didn't have to do any of the crap that we've got to do now in order to get a firearm. Right? And it was no more crazy back then than it is now. And if we all fall prey to social medias, news medias, government, and we get blindsided by their bullshit, then we're all screwed.
Because when you look at it,
You cannot
think about that number: 300 million legal guns in America. 300 million. If legal gun owners were a problem, who have trillions of rounds, if we were a problem,
It's true.
we know it. It'd be self-evident. It'd be blood in the streets every single damn day. So obviously, legal gun ownership is not the problem. Obviously.
No, absolutely not. And if you want to put your child in a class because you believe they need that education, by all means, but it shouldn't be a requirement. I mean, I do agree with Real Deal when he said, you know, I shouldn't be forced. That should just be common sense. If there's a class available out there for you to send your child to, or for you to go to, or for you to send your wife or daughter or son or whoever, whatever, if you choose to do that, by all means, please do it. Spend the money. It's worth doing, but it shouldn't be a requirement. I mean, I already signed my life away every single time I go to get a gun. You know, I had to sign my life away when I got my job. I had to, you know, practically sign your life away for anything anymore. And it's not a God-given right to own guns, you know. It's a constitutional right to be able to own guns. And it's something that's worth protecting because the second protects the first. So when they take all the second, then they're going to start taking the first, and then we're screwed.
And I break it down even without that piece of paper, because that piece of paper, like you said, is not worth the ink it's written on if nobody practices it. But how are you going to take away a person's right as a human being to defend themselves if their life is threatened, if their family's life is threatened?
Yeah.
How can you say that is right and just? I can't see that. When you know the police aren't going to be there for you, when you know the government's not going to be there for you in any serious situation, what do you expect people to do? Just die? No, I'm not accepting that. And no one should have to accept that as an option. That's not an option in my book.
Agreed. 100%.
Definitely.
That's what they expect, though. They just expect you to die.
Well, that's what they want. That's the narrative. You know, that's what they want. Because if you put your tin hat on and we go down another rabbit hole, it's exactly what they want. And it is all about money. You know, and it's not a specific governmental party in any way, shape, or form, because they've all done it to us.
Exactly.
Their agenda is different than ours. Mm-hmm. We're out here surviving and living and trying to be the best that we can be. Yeah. And they're up there trying to take it all away.
Yeah. Right. Maintaining power, maintaining influence, maintaining control. Mm-hmm. And if somebody has guns and can defend themselves when you come try to control them, that's a problem for them.
Yeah. And that's it. And so, I mean, I agree with, like I said, I agree with Real Deal when he said, you know, it's like, I don't need a law restricting me when I know common sense tells me I'm going to send my kid through a class. Billy has already given his kid a ton of education with firearms right from the get-go, and that was his responsibility. He took it upon himself to teach his child about it. Exactly. And it's our responsibility that anybody that you get into the firearm game, anybody that comes to you and asks you questions about those things, it is your responsibility at that particular point in time to try to give that person the best education possible. Exactly. I had a conversation with two young gentlemen the other day about the state of the economy and the state of our country and everything else like that. And just by them asking me questions and I start preaching, and it kind of opened up their eyes a little bit to, wow, you know, and I'm like, well, you got to start thinking outside the box, because they want you in that box. They want control of you. There's a reason why, you know, you're either a sheep or you're a sheepdog. It's one or the other. And the government wants sheep. They want people to comply.
Yeah.
That's deep, Mr. Stevenson.
Yes, sir, Mr. Stevenson. I'm going to go ahead and get out so other people can get in here.
Wait a minute.
Wait, okay.
This is a little off topic. Your shirt say Cooters?
Yes, it does.
Cool.
Thought I read it.
Cooter's crib. It said Cooter's crib.
Cooters crib. I saw that, man. I didn't want to interrupt you saying some good stuff. So
Actually, I think it's a bar somewhere, but at my campground, a gentleman named his little tiki hut thingy that he built at the campground Cooter's crib, and we had a birthday party for him and had a bunch of shirts made up. So
send me a shirt.
Okay. I can step out too, brother, if you want. If you got other people waiting to get in.
Yeah, I definitely got a little line back here, man. Thank you so much for that information, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Stay ready, fam.
Hey, yo.
Good evening.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's good? Yeah, I was almost missed you guys. Yeah, I was on IG having a conversation with Chris Stevens the other day after the live.
Okay.
Yeah, it got crazy.
I mean, it's a lot of emotion, man, tied into this.
Yeah, but the whole thing that I wanted to say, and it's no right or wrong for real, and nobody's wrong, and it's not an absolute thing. But for real, in my opinion, people need to stop dependent on this government. Stop depending on them making laws. Your vote don't really count. If you want what you say, you want to be heard, you got to invest in people who support those campaigns. Those lobby groups, or like BP would say, the organizations that support the things that you believe in order to put money counts, votes don't.
Oh, hell yeah, that's all that counts in America is money.
Yeah, so you have
boils down to it. Boils down to money.
It doesn't have to be monetary.
What's up, man?
You know what I'm saying?
What's up, Zach?
Necessarily have to be monetary, but get involved with the people who are making moves in the community. And because you can't, especially with firearms and anything, whether it's your political views, your voting, or whether it's you send your kids, the government can't do anything right. They send us to public school, half of us know how to read. You know what I'm saying? They put us in, they give us government housing, and them shits is death traps and piss holes. I can't think of anything that the government manages good. And you're depending on them. I can't think of anything.
Right. You can't even depend on your electricity or water. You know what I mean? Look at our infrastructures.
That's government,
just all the way
subsidized. That's something different. But the thing is, I can't think of nothing, whether it's the federal government or state or city, that they manage and they run well. So how are you going to depend on them for your defense or your protection, or to make laws that's going to protect you and your children? That shit is up to you, or you and your community, period. That seriously is up to you. And as a father, as a not even as a father, as a man, period, or a woman, period, as a citizen, that's your job, not the people you vote for. That's their job is to represent you, but they don't represent you. They represent their interest groups, or the interest groups that power that enable their position. So a lot of these Democrats, I see a lot of Democrats like here in New York, right? So we is up in New York, and ALC is our representative when I lived in the Bronx, in the section of the Bronx that I lived in. She the thing about her was she was out. The people moved. She was out there. But once you get in position, nobody don't know you no more. Those people don't even go oppose half the time. And this is like small stuff like that. And the special interest groups, the lobbyists, all they do is just feed them.
That's who runs America. Who runs America are special interest groups, super PACs, lobbyists, and corporations. That's who runs America.
You need to be a part. If you're not a part of something like that, then they say the NRA and all of this crap, but they making moves.
The NRA is bought and paid for too. That's the
They
thing.
bought and paid.
Yeah.
America is about money. There's a gentleman by the name of Claude Anderson. I don't know if anybody knows who he is, but he talks about specifically in the black community about owning, renting, and leasing politicians, because that's the way America works.
The way America works. And
if you want to get something, you need to come with your hands in your pocket. And when I say that, I mean that you got plenty of cash. So when you reach and pull them out, say, listen, I need you for this election cycle. Here's $1 million. I need this from you because this is what we need to have. That's how America works.
So like I was telling Chris the other day, like look at the they always talk about the economy. Like look at you, if you went to and you see companies that we're giving them money for their guns and their ammunition, but we're not investing in their company. Like the Nikes and the sneakers. So you need to invest in them because it's in their interest to sell you more shit. You know, it's their interest to sell you more. So if you have these particular interests, you invest in these companies, and the more shares you build up, the more say you have. Even if you doing like a group fund or Cassian, what is that shit called?
Like the GoFundMe?
No, like where you have a group, like a church or something, like an organization.
Crowdfunding.
A crowdfunding.
Okay.
To support specific stock, so y'all can have more of a say, and when they go before their board. Our shareholders, this group of shareholders,
when we start moving into
happen,
when we start moving into money and politics, the problem is that every group has a lobby except the American people. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
If the American people could come together and have a lobby and stop fighting each other, going back to what Chris is saying, because I'm also looking at what Gentle Killer is saying here on this, what's up on the screen. If the American people would understand that, I don't know what it would take to do that. Would understand
that as far as
us creating a lobby and where you control money, because that's what it's all about. It's about politics. You have to buy, but you have to understand politics is money, and you have to be able to buy these people in order to get stuff done.
So let's get out of politics.
If I'm in a small town, but to a certain extent you can't. If I'm in a small town and I need to have this building done, or I need to have something zoned a certain way, and there's a guy over here who's running for this campaign, and this guy can get me this zoning permit, and I can go say, hey, I'm gonna donate $50,000 to your campaign behind the scenes because listen, I need you to sign off on this. I'll be damned if I'm gonna get that permit in that zone, and I'm gonna get it. That's the way America works. It's about the money, and everybody has a lobby except for the American people. That's why we always gonna get through.
Make it work for ourselves, but we can't depend on them to do it. We gotta small things. Train our own kids. You know what I mean? Take care of our own community. You see somebody having a mental breakdown and they falling the fuck apart. That shit just don't instantly happen. You pull their skirt, be like, yo, pull their shirt, they skirt, whatever. Like, yo, you good? Point them in the right direction. Take a role of leadership. That's not happening. And we waiting for the government to do something. Oh, this person mental health breakdown. Sometimes everybody have a breakdown every once in a while. Everybody. You know what I mean? But everybody don't have a support network, a wife or a mother or a close friend that can just pull their skirt like, yo, yeah, that's messed up, but you can pull this through. I got you. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have that dude, my man. You know what I mean? That got me no matter what. And people need to step up. They just being so selective, and it's hurting everybody.
It's because of the way that we're taught, especially as Americans.
We need to learn the bullshit.
We're taught a certain way. Really, we're always taught our for and no more. That's really the way that we're taught, honestly. And because we don't believe in community, really. Some people do, but for the most part, we don't. I need to start caring about the guy next to me. The guy next to me is important because him flipping out and going crazy affects me, even if I don't think it does. And that's something that has to be worked on. How you fix that, I don't know, but I understand your point. Where you're coming from.
Fix these politicians, I'm telling you, because that starts. You could change the world by changing the way you move. You feel me? And that's it. Just little things like some little things like Billy training his son, you know what I mean, doing his thing. That shit is moving the world right now. You know what I mean? Just little small things, just being a good dad. You know what I mean? Building a relationship with your kid. You know, having that conversation. That little stuff is a lot. So you know your son ain't going out doing no terrorist action and no shit like that because you got him like that. You know what I mean? You had that conversation already. You see what I'm saying?
There's more to this.
Yo, can we get the likes up?
There has to
This
be
is
like
this is a great conversation, man.
a multi-pronged attack because I'm
But
all for buying out the politicians. I'm all for buying them out because I understand that's the way America works.
First step starts.
And you can do it. You just have to have enough people with enough dollars to make that needle move.
You think our money is worth it at this point, though? Sorry, Arnell.
You said
you think our money is. You think our money is?
It is worth it to them.
I don't think it is anymore.
It is because with money comes status, and with status comes power. That's what it's all about. It's all about.
No, I get that. I get that's how it used to be. I get.
It's not different.
No, I think we're the currency. I honestly feel like we're the currency, and that's why we're able to be. I hear you when it comes to the money and stuff, and that's actually my opinion that I was going to bring to the conversation. I mean, if you was already done, Armel, I don't mean to cut on you, but I was fact checking myself a little bit, and everybody knows Obama was the best gun salesman of all time, right?
Oh, the greatest.
The greatest. And Biden himself, in just his first year, 35,778,134 gun checks in his first year. Obama went up 158% for the gun industry, and they sold during that administration over $17 billion in ammo was spent during that administration. And the reason why I bring this up is because I don't think they're going to try to take our guns. I think they are selling guns. They are trying to get us to buy as many guns as possible, and that's why they're feeding us with the chaos of taking our rights away. There's no way in hell that they can actually physically take them away from us. If they was trying to really take them away from us, they wouldn't drop off crates full of fucking AKs, excuse my language, crates full of AKs or Uzis in the ghettos. They've been doing that stuff since the 70s. That's my point though. They want us to have guns. Now, do I think there's a bigger plan at stake? I got no idea. I just see them as actually pushing more guns to us because, like you were saying, Zach, about the money, a lot of them, they got money in the NRA. They got a lot of money in the gun manufacturers and stuff like that. It could be a reason like that. Now, I know I'm not articulating it the right way, but I do believe
that's an interesting ass perspective, though.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I don't know if I agree or disagree, but I know that's an interesting. I have never heard that perspective before.
But especially if you see it like this. Now, this kind of makes the government look a little good, so it kind of tastes a little bad coming out of my mouth. But if they know that we're on the precipice of a world war, they want to have as many guns in the streets as possible as well.
You got a question, bro?
Get this man a juice box. Hold on a second.
What's the
precipice?
Precipice or something.
The verge. The verge, like on the verge of a world.
Right on the edge, bro.
Look, I know a word that you don't. Now I feel educated. No,
I feel real bad. Get away.
I only know a couple. I only know a couple, man.
Y'all do Scrabble things.
What's up, everybody?
Hot Tub, what up?
What's going on?
What's up, Hot Tub? And I think at this point, I'm just going to end it with this. And I would like to stay for the conversation, but I just like to end my point. And this has nothing to do with RGG or his channel, but everybody should have a couple burners just in case. All right, that's it. Look, I mean, why all us legal, law-abiding citizens should have? I mean, you know what I mean. Everybody else does.
My stance is that especially black people in America should be armed to the teeth and have as much ammo as you can store. That's my stance. I don't own guns for hunting. I just be the first to tell you I don't own guns for hunting. I ain't hunting nothing. If I gotta hunt
Agreed.
something, it's gonna be somebody, a dude on 2 feet. That's just my own thing.
Slow down, gangster. What up, Hot Tub?
I'm gonna throw something out there to everybody, man, because Zach kind of hitting on something very, very important. Man, people think
Is
that
it mommy?
what's going on?
Hey,
I have
mommy.
a question for Armel today. If the purge were to happen for real, where would you guys be? Home? Would you go somewhere else? What would you do and where would you be?
I'm staying right here.
Right here.
Yeah, I'm in the crib.
Yeah, right. I'm right
Yeah.
here.
This is where all my guns at.
Right.
Well,
That our house have so many different entrances. If we could really fortify, because I was thinking maybe going to maybe my sister's home, and which to me was small and easy to protect, but he's staying right here and put up barricades.
I'm dying. It's too hard to get here, bro.
fortify your neighborhood.
Blood, sweat, and tears got me here, and I ain't leaving. They're gonna carry my body out.
You don't fortify your house. You fortify your community. You fortify your neighborhood.
My community is lost. They the ones that's gonna burn me out.
Yeah, you might want to move then, bro.
Yo, I'm a contra out here.
But now it's fairly cheap to buy a politician in most cities. Not major cities, but most smaller to mid-sized cities. You can damn near be a major campaign financer in a mayoral race for $10,000. Alderman's about $1,000. You get a judge. I know Siege was saying 50,000. Maybe where she at. But like in my little small city outside Atlanta, man, judges come cheap. All it is not expensive to do none of this. So if that's a route we want, if you feel that the political process for you, you can finance your own candidates, man. That's where I'm going with. I'll land that plane on that.
Cause it is noisy.
It's deep.
That's why I'm a firm believer that the system needs to be burnt down and rebuilt. Because we're at this point. We're at this point where it just takes a little bit of money. The SHTF really does need to happen for my children to be able to grow up and build a nation of freedom. This country don't know no freedom, man. We ain't never been free. We may have it better than other countries. We ain't never been free, period.
Now, from being like, say for instance, like with my wife and going in Jamaica has like some of the like harshest gun laws on the planet. That shit draconian. You had a gun there that's
draconian means
Draconian,
real old, like old school, real hard,
like,
hammered down.
All right, bet. Go ahead. You have to be clear, bro. Go ahead.
There's no jail. Gun dead. Period. But what happens is the criminals have guns, and the criminals, right, work for the politicians or vice versa. So the government uses the crime to control the people, to keep the people oppressed. So certain classes of people are poor, and if you want school books, you got to pay for school. You got to pay for school books. You got to go to the town, the Don, or the top criminal in the neighborhood to get school money. So they keep people in certain classes, and they use the crime to control that shit. And the criminals work for the politicians, and the politicians work for the criminals.
Facts.
They do that here in the United States too.
They do it here.
Yeah, the politicians the politicians are the criminals. That's the thing here. The politicians are the criminals.
Right, but they're like the criminals, kind of like I don't know if you remember some years back where the United States the politicians work for the Americans and the criminals work for the politicians. Basically, a couple of years ago, this is some strange shit that happened in Jamaica a couple of years back. They had this drug dealer down there. His name was Dudas Coke or something like that. He probably had $10 million. Not even a real rich American, by American standards, drug dealer. He probably sold a couple of $1 million in between Toronto, Massachusetts, New York, and Miami. $10 million, right? They sent in guided missile destroyers for this motherfucker. Big Navy ships that just kill the whole world. over there for him. Jamaican government finally turned them in, right? 2 months later, the community protected them. The community, the entire community protected them against the army. And a lot of people were killed, right? 2 months later, Osama bin Laden dead. And this is not like nowhere. This is like strange coincidence. Like nobody knew what Osama bin Laden was. They get this dude, finally get him in the United States. 2 months later, he was connected to him. And everybody knew he was connected to him, but that was besides the point. A little creamy-ass criminal drug dealer in Jamaica, barricaded in the ghetto, took the entire United States Navy and the Jamaican military to get this dude out.
Because he probably treated those people right.
Like I said, the criminals control the people and pay and feed the people. Those people are poor. They give the people jobs. They get the kids school books or whatever. But the politicians allow them to happen, and the politicians there are run by the politicians here, by international policy here. It's corrupted.
We all know it's corrupted.
It's everybody.
The United States government is the most corrupt government on the face of the planet.
Absolutely.
Amen.
America, it was just getting too bad when it was like they were screwing in the ass at the same time too. So we know it's expected.
Yeah.
Skilly having tennis practice?
Idea of corruption.
I don't know. I just saw a tennis racket and kicked him off the live. I don't know what just happened.
No. All right, y'all. I'm gonna jump on it.
They taking our tennis rackets from us.
Yeah.
I still got mine.
What's going on, y'all?
I'm not.
What up, Skilly?
I don't cuss all the time.
What's up, Skilly?
You do cuss all the time.
It's my fault. I never used to cuss like this. You know, he cusses.
She said,
It's not my fault.
No, man, you know, it's just a touchy subject. That's all.
Boardroom, I can articulate without cursing.
Yo,
The point really is that what he's saying is that politicians really in Jamaica do control everything, and they do control the crime in a lot of ways where criminals do work for them. So as a Jamaican who's watching what's happening in America, and we understand that corruption is necessary because you do need corruption sometimes for things to happen. You sometimes do need to pay people for things to happen. It's part of life. It is what it is. I think what was happening was, though, it felt like it wasn't hidden anymore with the previous administration, which was so obvious of what was going on for me personally. But I thought that became too overbearing for me to keep on watching. But I know corruption is normal. It's part of life. You do need to pay people sometimes to get stuff done. And I wish I could grease some people's palm to get some of my deals done, and I try when I can.
That's the American way. The American way is you want something done, put some money in my hand. That's the American way.
And that's in every industry.
That's okay. I know in New York, it's very common in New York. That's okay. That's part of life. That's okay. It's just that you gotta have a little finesse to it. That's all. You gotta have a little finesse to it.
Yeah, but back to the
reason why what I'm gonna say like Boo's party flipped on him, it's not because they dislike him. It's because he doesn't know how to shut up. He's too much of a narcissist to shut his mouth. If he would just shut his mouth and just move along and do stuff behind the scenes, everybody would love him. But he don't know how to shut up because he's too much of a narcissist.
Who was that?
Love me. Trump. He's too much about love me. See what I do. Say what I do. I need to be recognized.
He wanted to be God.
If he would just shut his mouth up and just move the way he gonna move and be corrupt like they all are, he would have done it. But he don't know how to shut up.
He might have got reelected.
Right. He don't know how to shut up.
He wouldn't have got reelected. He was controlled opposition. If they really didn't like him, they would have smoked him.
If he knew how to shut up and knew how to move in the shadows and do the backroom deal, let's get a cognac and a cigar and but no. With him, it's got to be look what I did. See me.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
It's a liability.
But that wasn't his job. His job was to do exactly what he did while he was there, just like Biden's doing his job right now, looking like a freaking idiot.
Nah, but you take the guns from the people, the criminals take control, and the politicians have more.
Sorry, Tony.
Do y'all realize, man? And I wanted to drop this on there because this is something I just found out. At least in my county, if you call the police, like say, I'm gonna give you an example. Somebody threatened you. You call the police. Police come. In this county out here, you have to take out your own warrant to get them arrested.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
This is in Georgia.
I ain't never heard that.
You have to take out your own warrant.
So you
And
have to go. You have to go to the DA.
You
or
have to go
to
to the
judge.
magistrate court.
Uh-huh.
Take out the pay. You got to pay a fine. I think the fine is like $50.
What?
You have to take out your own warrant. The DAs are not even taking out warrants on people when you call the police anymore.
Wow.
They not here to protect you. Look it up.
There was something that recently I saw that was posted where this lady that she had to help pay her mortgage. She rented Airbnb. Momentarily, the idea that she could help pay her mortgage. I expected the person to be gone. When she came back, the person was literally still in her house, refusing to leave. And then they were saying that they couldn't do anything because now the lady's a tenant. So you could see the police couldn't do anything. So you could see her. She started confronting the lady. The lady came out of the room, went to her kitchen, sat at her table, and said, "You can't touch me. Don't come to my door." And it was saying, "I can't get this freaking woman out of my house because now they say she have rights because she's a tenant."
Mm-hmm.
So she's careful of Airbnb because it's something that who knows she's done it before, where she pretends to be renting somewhere and then she refuses to leave.
That's squatter rights. Yep, you can
get them out that house.
Yeah,
it take 3 months like that. And about $50,000 to get them up out your house.
Yeah,
you can get them out. You're just gonna have to resort to some different type of things.
Exactly. In the state of Oregon, it's real. It's known to do it around here. Shit, my mama died back in November, and there's still somebody squatting in her house. You can squat up to a year in the state of Oregon. You can squat in somebody's house. You go on vacation, somebody breaks into your house and starts making sandwiches and eating there, man, they can live there for a year. The sheriffs, the cops, they can't do nothing about it.
All they got to do is have one piece of mail or a utility in their name.
Once you get past 30 days, normally that's it. They're a tenant. My sister experienced it in New York. That was a nightmare for her. And even there's a case that came up in California, which is really interesting. This couple actually sold their home to someone. I mean, they bought a home from someone, and because the person was still in there upon closing, they're supposed to move out after closing. Because COVID happened and the law, they were still living in the house that they bought. The seller was still living in the same house that the couple bought and wouldn't move, even though they paid them. And the police couldn't do anything about it because they had tenants. There were no tenants.
That's a good get down, though.
I know that story you're talking about.
You know the story, right?
I know that story. Yeah.
I think that was white.
$1 million, and they didn't leave the house, and they stayed. They were in the house like a year later.
Yeah, they said they didn't have anywhere to go because of COVID, and the courts wouldn't kick them out.
Yep.
Oh, yep. I remember that story too. Yep.
It was a crazy story. It was happening in California.
You can't let the government take care of nothing. They can't even let you stay in your own house. So how you gonna depend on it?
You can't. You got to handle your own business.
You got to handle your own business.
And see, when I was going to be a police officer, yeah, it was kind of crazy. But,
go ahead, live.
You was gonna be a cop?
Yeah, I was. I actually yeah, I did. I passed the written. I passed the physical. I got up to my background interview. And the next step was going into the academy. But yeah, I tried out for the police department. I always wanted to be police when I was a kid.
You say you tried out like it was a
like a team.
Like it was the 37 and older basketball team up at the
whatever. 37 and older.
Skilla, I think you did right by not becoming a cop, man. You out here slapping around handicapped folks, man. You don't
you've definitely been a dirty cop,
man.
He'd have put his stakeouts right on the handicap space at every store he goes by.
He'd have went out though, boy.
He'd have definitely been a dirty cop. So, I mean, it's a lot. We always kind of get sidetracked because there's so many different directions you can go with when we're talking about right. At the end of the day, some of the best stuff that I've heard, and one of the best examples is what we see with little Alex and Billy and Erica doing down there, and us just staying trained up, know your laws, pay attention to what's going on, and just stay the course. I think we'll be fine, but I always wonder about it, man, when I be hearing a lot of these laws changing. And like I said, a lot of it don't even bother me personally because we already deal with it.
Yeah.
Like I'm already living with everything that's proposed is pretty much already happening where I'm at now.
They understand they can't do it on a federal level. It's
they
literally gonna be state by state. If you
I
live
don't
in
see
one
State
of
by
those, if you live in one of those states where they real strict
Right.
on the gun control, you gonna have that. If you live in a state that believe in freedom, hey man, you gonna have freedom.
There isn't any way for them to take everybody's guns.
Right.
There is no mechanism that would allow them to do that. You would
It'd be
have
civil
everybody
war.
would have to volunteer it, and then that's exactly there'll be a civil war. There's no way because they would get to that one guy's compound who got 100 guys with him, and that's set it up right there because they're like, no, I'm not giving you my guns. I don't care. I'm not. No matter what, I'm not giving it to you. And they're never gonna do that.
Yeah, my son the peak interest on shooting, so about to get him started. Still shooting.
This is your responsibility, man, for your and this
Yeah.
is me as well. And you seen, like, for instance, Billy's training his son, and it's good. Billy introduced his son into this community, and that's good. You see what I'm saying? And now this community is giving back and growing Alex. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
That it doesn't have to be your community, but that shit is like magic.
Yeah, he'll be on Sunday. I'm gonna put his butt on Sunday. So y'all
And we could even do it in our backyards. I had Prepper 101 and Rip Curl Readiness. He's a gun dude from up here in Oregon. He got a good little channel too. But they were sitting there teaching my son in my backyard with my Glock 19 BB gun. You know what I mean? That's all it takes. You could literally just go right in your backyard with a little BB gun. I mean, it's that easy.
Are there any anti-gunners out there watching who just like scared and got nothing to say? Are there any?
Oh, they be ghost watching.
I think there's no such thing as an anti-gunner though, honestly, because you're gonna do whatever you need to do to survive. They just never been in a situation where they needed a gun. You know what I mean?
You know what? You ever think about it like this? Because again, so much of this stuff is common to us, right? Like if you're a 2A person, you don't move, you don't leave the crib without your gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about people that don't carry firearms at all, not in the gun. They walk out of their house every single day with no protection.
Yep.
And they probably been doing this for years. Like, this is what they do commonly, until that thing happens where that needs to change.
The common denominator there, though, this is their weapon because they know that they're 911. They all got the guns. They're gonna run and save them. That's their security blanket.
911.
So they don't think.
No,
I get that. I understand that. I'm not for it.
That's living in a fool's paradise.
Exactly. That's how they're able to do it. Like you said, RGG, until that certain thing happens, to where they get took to the alley or somebody comes and robs them or whatever incident happens. You know what I mean? Then they're like, oh, let me get my own because the cops wasn't here on time. They just did a report. That didn't save me.
No, unfortunately, for some people, it does work.
I want to say something.
It don't work for all of us.
No, it don't.
Police will come for some people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not everybody.
Detroit, it takes the regular Detroit police to come. If it ain't that serious, sometimes they won't even come in the city of Detroit.
Okay, I want to say something on that. Now, Arma always would call me a bleeding heart liberal because of how I and from someone who lived in the ghetto in Jamaica, I've seen violence, I've seen people dead. I mean, I've seen things, you know what I mean? I was never scared of gun, but I mean, lately being exposed to you guys and this group, I'm rethinking it. And now with the way mass shootings are happening, I said to Armel that I'm thinking now about applying for a concealed weapon, because the crazy people out there, where you literally could be anywhere minding your business, and we live in what would be considered to be a very, very safe community, but you just don't know where it happens, right? Some place it could come in with a machine gun to kill people. And there's no shortage of guns where we live, right? And there's a very area zero crime kind of thing. But these mass shootings are happening so randomly that I'm thinking I do need to have some protection, because you just don't know where you could be, where it could happen. You could be at the grocery store, minding your business. It could be in a pizza. You could be anywhere, and someone could come and do something. So I'm not rethinking the whole idea of having a weapon, having something when I leave this house, because I'm the type of person. I've seen street justice for real, not make believe stuff. I could tell you stories about things for real. I'll tell you off on the side, not now, but one day I could tell you some serious stories of what I've seen, and I've seen real street and stuff. But if anybody come after mines, I'll shoot you dead or thinking twice. And I know that for a fact. That's how I feel, and I'm not afraid to say it, and I'm not afraid to do it.
I heard that. You never let me down. You know that?
Right.
But I'm in my position.
But I would like to know. Ask her what made you feel like you didn't or don't need a firearm. Why are you thinking about it and not just saying, "Hey, it's time to do it"?
I'll tell you. Okay, I guess for me, okay, where we live, like, is zero crime. Like, it's literally 0%. If you look up Loudoun County, 0% crime. That's where we live, Loudoun County, Virginia, right? 0% crime, no crime. I mean, no crime. But
Ain't nobody got caught yet.
yeah, it's
Right.
there's no crime here. But I think with it just become like, even what happened at the elementary school the other day. I mean, I saw it 10 years ago. That was before I had my child. And seeing that really, really shook me up, because I'm like, all those parents who were outside trying to get in, and the cops were waiting and nothing happened. And it took a parent who finally snuck in and killed the gunman and saved his kids. I live 5 minutes away from the elementary school. So yeah, I'll go in and get my daughter. And with her being autistic, and the fact that she may not follow so easily, or she may not know how to react in a situation, it scared the crap out of me, because I'm like, if she's unable to defend herself or know what to do, then as a parent, and I'm always close by, I'm going to go in and get her. I mean, that's not even without hesitation, and I'll kill any MFOs in my way who is a threat to her and a threat to me, without even thinking twice about it.
One lady did that.
A couple of them did
One
that.
lady
Yeah,
did
a
that.
couple of
She
them
snuck,
people
she
got
snuck
into
in and got her children.
They
Yeah.
were actually handcuffed.
Dang right.
The police went and got their kids out before they did
Right.
anything.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, y'all, stay tuned. Never mind. Go ahead.
Yes, you're right. There's one lady, the cop, she talked about the cops actually handcuffed her. They finally released her, and she went in unarmed.
Right.
Got her
Mhm.
kid. And the guy who actually ended up killing him was a parent who, they said, heard about it. He was at the barber shop, borrowed the barber's gun, and drove down there, got his kid, and he's the one who killed the gunman. It was a former patrol officer, border patrol
I think
officer.
he's a border patrol officer.
Border Patrol. Yeah.
We're waiting outside, not the
For,
cops.
for over an hour and a half, I think, until they finally came in and asked them,
Yeah,
"Oh,
and
we don't want to shoot you.
they had
Can you surrender?"
calls from the kids for hours, for like a long time, begging for help, and nobody went in. But I know, as a parent, if and I go to if I go to Zay school, I look around and I'm like conscious of what kind of measures are put in place. But as a parent, that scared the real crap out of me. And of course, with Zayda being autistic and just what she's experienced and what she is, I'll go in for me and mine. I mean, without hesitation.
That's
There's
true.
a debate in our town about bringing firearms to campus. There's serious. This is a big politics thing going on. Whether you can bring firearms to to the courthouse and to public school locations. And this is the biggest political thing going on. That's the 2A thing going on in my town. And I say, no, don't bring no guns to the school.
I just out there, cops with guns there.
Yeah, but they want to bring them into court. They want to bring the guns everywhere.
I don't disagree. I believe if teachers want to be properly trained and they get the correct training, I don't have a problem with my son's teachers being able to shoot back. I have
exactly.
I know
We trust them with our kids' lives. We
Right.
should mean that literally as well. You know what I mean? My kids are homeschooled though. They're not allowed to go to gun-free zones.
I'm gonna say this in defense of teachers, man. And y'all, this is part that nobody considers because I have teachers in my family. We already, as a community, as a society, ask a lot from the teachers. Now you're asking the teachers to be babysitters,
counselors, babysitters,
and security guards.
Nah, bro.
It'd be their personal choice, though.
Right, that's voluntary. That's if they want to.
Hold on, Zach. Now, one thing I will agree with is that they did this in Louisiana. The men in the community. Now, I'm not opposed to them going up there being armed on the campus. That's what I'm not opposed to. I don't disagree that they do need some form of armed security in the school. I'm just not sure it should be your teachers because, they have bad day. We all know bad teachers, and bad teachers also can have a bad day. And you don't want a bad teacher with a bad day with a firearm.
We had armed
if something pop off
in high school. Hot tub.
I mean, we got CPOs. We got CPOs in Toledo.
They do that. They do that down here. Roblox. They call them resource officers.
Yeah, they call in Toledo. They call them CPOs, but they just passed it in Ohio. The Lions just signed it today. I mean, Monday?
What do you pass? I didn't hear about it.
He passed that teachers are allowed to carry inside schools now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, y'all got to do it, man. It's been a long day. I work 14 hours.
Hey, Roadblock.
Yes, sir.
Are they requiring training for those teachers?
Yeah, it's 24 hours. 24-hour training. When people are up in arms about it being 24 hours, they want it to be longer, but it's voluntary basis. We already got CPOs
carrying their gun in school.
In school, but my whole thing is the mental health aspect. And I listened Monday, and not a lot of people touched on it, but that mental health, HIPAA is a big hindrance right now because HIPAA is basically barring your medical records to be included into a background check, pretty much. So if you are diagnosed with bipolarism, multi-personalities, or
schizophrenia, all
of that stuff, none of that stuff is going to criminally. Legally, you will be able to buy a firearm, but you still have a medical condition that can, if not medicated properly, can alter your perception, can alter a whole lot of stuff. So now I've worked in gun stores, and what they tell you is that every gun sale is at your discretion pretty much. So yeah, somebody might be able to pass a background check, but if that person is in there twitching, acting crazy, looking over their shoulder, doing like, you can be like, nah, you failed.
You think I would pass?
You say what?
You think I would pass?
Man, I don't know, man. Just don't look at them too hard, man. You and Skilly can't scare at them.
Sorry, I didn't mean to deter you.
There you go. I was just trying to figure out why Skilly was just standing
But I'm gonna jump off because I gotta eat. But I just wanted to say that mental health aspect is real detrimental to a lot of the 2A arguments, because if we can't implement some type of system to where a mentally deranged person can go into a gun store and buy a firearm, that's gonna make us all look bad in the first place. If we don't have any,
one question,
yeah, go ahead.
what determines a person's mental stability?
Right.
Medical records.
That's what a
So a
problem is.
doctor, if you go to a doctor, right, and you're a black man, you go to a doctor, and the doctor said you don't look too right, and that
No,
doctor
it's
just,
not that. It's not that.
just saying,
It's
just
not that,
hypothetically,
Armel. What I'm saying is, if you have a mental
you don't look too
history,
right, and you're not mentally fit, we're gonna give you this test to see if you sound, and you a black
no,
man or something like that, and
Armel,
you may or may
that's
not
not
pass
that's
this
not what
test.
I'm saying, bro. What I mean is, if you have a history, like my uncle, he is diagnosed as a schizophrenic.
Okay.
He's diagnosed, but if you met him, you wouldn't know that.
On the
But when he has, but hold on. When he has an episode and he flips the hell out and he thinks that his helicopter's over his head and you look up and it's just a bird.
Exactly.
Then, but this same person can buy a firearm because he doesn't have a criminal record.
What about these boys that's coming home from war that's messed up, Roadblock?
But I understand that. So look, so you got a lot of a lot of Army vets commit suicide.
What about these people that's on these streets suffering from PSD from all of this stuff that's going on? PTSD.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going on.
But
exactly.
that PTSD shouldn't be a hindrance from you owning a firearm. Just
It
because you have
shouldn't.
PTSD does not mean you're going to harm yourself or
PTSD
somebody.
triggers stuff
and that's why I'm saying there needs to be some type of system in place. Because when you don't have no system, when you don't have anything, then anybody can go buy a firearm who is legally crazy, who is literally crazy, but that can pass a background check. Because if you look at that 4473, it asks you questions, and you can say yes, the first one is yes, and then the rest of them are no. But you don't have you ever been adjudicated mentally unfit or something like no? But literally, you've been to the doctor and you literally take pills every day for schizophrenia.
But because there's so many guns out there, it doesn't matter if that mentally ill person is going to go to the store and get one or go to the trunk of somebody's car. If he wants to go get a gun, he's going to get a gun regardless.
Let me throw this out there, and because we jumped off with the mass shooters in the school, most of these mass shooters are not mentally ill.
Facts.
Hell no, them boys.
Okay, so that portion of the conversation, it ain't.
You know what they're doing with that.
It's not a whole lot of mentally ill people out here committing these mass murders.
But I will say this: before your 18th birthday, your record is expunged. When you turn 18, they seal that record. They seal that record.
Cases, yeah.
Depends.
In most cases, they seal that record.
Depends.
But man, look. I love y'all. Y'all my people. I've been up since 4 o'clock. I just got back to the hotel. I'm hungry. I love y'all. Y'all be good. Don't cuss me out too bad.
All right, Mr. Tight Shirt.
Yeah. This is a 2X. This is 2X
Got a
today.
pen
You
on
know.
your sleeve or something. I don't know what's going on with you.
Peace, man.
Peace.
I'm gonna say something about these resource officers in the schools. I don't think people understand that when you see them school resource officers, just take a look at them. They're old. They're fat. Those are the officers that are either coming up on retirement, can't make physical standards. Those are not the tip-top officers that you are entrusted to protect your children. That's why you had that situation in Uvalde. That's why you had it in Sandy Hooks. That's why you had it at Columbine. So they're not putting the best officers over your school system. All them officers from the school, but most of them are like that. And that's why you had that particular incident. Because that the school fell under the jurisdiction of Department of Education's police department. That's what you get.
And that whole resource officer thing, I know from my own personal experience with my own son. I've actually had a teacher try to weaponize that against my son.
Mm-hmm.
Because when it happened, the first thing my son did was he responded the way that I would respond. What you gonna call him for? Is he coming here to kill me? That was his response. And so that's why there can be an issue with that too, especially when it comes to, because my son is of course a little black boy, and that police officer was weaponized against him to try to control him, to get something out of him that they wanted.
Yeah.
So there's problems with that too. So and I
No,
know that from personal experience.
Every school I went to had an actual police officer. We didn't have resource officers. We
Well,
had police officers.
I'm talking about he's a police officer. He's
No,
like a county deputy.
yeah,
it's too.
yeah,
It's
I
been
got
a
you
lot of
on that.
cases that Zach, what you saying, where police officers be in the schools and they end up causing more harm, especially to black
They do.
than they saw. I'm not saying I'm an advocate for having police in the school. I see it. My stance on this is let the parents, let an armed group of the parents that have time on their hands to do it, patrol and defend the schools.
And I don't disagree with that. I mean, I feel because when I first started having to send little Zach to school, that was a thing that I don't know if I worried about it, but I had a concern about it, that he's gonna be away from me all day long with these people, and how can they protect him? Everybody don't think that way, but that's what I thought about. I mean, that's who I am. That's what I do. I'm a gun guy.
That's a good dad, yeah.
That's what I thought about. My first thought wasn't, oh, is he gonna get good grades? Oh, my first thought is if somebody goes and runs up in that school and starts shooting, how are they gonna protect him?
Exactly.
That was my first thoughts. My first thought. So that's why I'm not against some sort of armed contingent or whatever protecting our children. They do it in Israel when they go on field trips. Them teachers can't. They do it in other parts of the world. So I mean, there's no reason why our children shouldn't be protected. My child is just as important as a senator or a congressman or a president or anybody. If they can have armed guards, somebody that can protect them from getting shot up, somebody should be some way to protect our children from being shot up.
More importantly, our children, yeah.
Right. They're our future. That's what
that's our future. And if you notice all these school shootings and all this extra, and I'm tired of hearing the word mass shooting, because man, we've been having these types of shootings since I was born.
The only
difference, at least
now
where I'm from.
The only difference now is that there's a camera everywhere.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. But and you also notice the mass shootings ain't happening in schools I'll say in the inner cities or in the ghettos. Cause shit, half these students are already strapped up. More guns equals less crime. That's all, man. That's all I'm trying to say is more guns, less crime. If you go into a situation and you know everybody's got a gun or they potentially might have a gun, you're not going there. It's common sense as a criminal.
He hit on something. Just look at all the mass shootings. Everywhere they hit are places that they know that 9 times out of 10 there's not an armed person in that facility.
Right.
Yep.
And we as a society fucked up when we start allowing the police to protect us rather than protecting ourselves. I'm not an advocate of police at all. At all, because they didn't have police in the Wild West and there was no crime. There was not a lot of crime in the Wild West. Bruh, handle your business yourself, because police ain't gonna do nothing but come in and exacerbate the whole incident anyway. They're gonna take it to a level that it didn't need to be instead of handling the business. Like you say, they're responsive. They respond to crime. They don't react to it. I don't know if I'm saying the right word right there, but
I know what you meant. You messed that all up. But
I messed it up.
He pointed it out too, like you messed it all up.
The point is
the police
that they not there to protect you.
No,
they're not. They're there to clean up after everything has happened. That's their job.
Their job is to generate revenue for the municipality, bro.
That's it.
Yeah, and how they deal with it all depends on the day, what they had to go through before they got to that situation. So they having a bad day, they're gonna take it out on you. Period.
We don't have no crime, but I'm telling you, this sheriff's department here, oh my God, they the best armed, best police cars. They got the best everything. Do you think they in Afghanistan somewhere? The shit they got, it ain't no crime.
Right.
Everybody got guns. Ain't no crime.
But there you go. That's where it's at.
Funded like crazy. $90,000 a year salaries. These guys.
Society is a polite society.
That's what Obama put into place, man, to get all these police departments to have all this tactical equipment that the military normally has. When they demilled all that stuff where we used in the first stage of the Iraq War, they gave it to police departments, which was crazy because they never needed. Most departments are never using that equipment.
Nope.
Yeah, they do.
They use it on us.
They use it on one individual in the fucking hood. Excuse my language, RGG.
No, I
One
can
individual.
agree with that.
Grenades, flashbangs, freaking bulletproof vest, all that stuff. They do it just to come get one person. And then they expect us to live next to that person as well. Man, F this system.
Yeah, it's not just the police. It's the entire government. You can't depend on the government to protect you.
Not at all.
No, never. Yeah.
Period. Point blank. Politicians, nothing. Be responsible and be a leader. That should start at home.
At home.
That should start. I'm telling you that it just starts at home. If you own a firearm or you don't own a firearm, step up. There's an absence of leadership in the household, and because there's an absence of leadership in the household, there's an absence of leadership in the community. Because there's an absence of leadership in the community, there's an absence of leadership in the country.
There is.
And mental health. We know everybody in their family had a crazy person in their family, but the family held them together. You know what I'm saying? The family held that crazy person together, and he or she never brought harm to nobody.
But I got to go back to this, Mayor, and you look at the numbers, and it will bear fruit to what I'm saying. Crazy people are not committing most of the crime.
That's facts.
Exactly.
It's not crazy people. And I'm so tired of the media trying to push everything off.
It's miseducated
people. This crazy person.
The biggest thing,
the media pushed that because of who fits the description.
The media can't push that because people don't know no better, bro.
Well, no. It's not that people don't know no better. The media pushes that because of who fits the description. That's why. That's why the media pushes that.
When we do a crime, our mental health or mental well-being ain't a factor in when they report it.
Nope.
Things that the media is pushing it, but it's your job to monitor the media and teach your kids and your family and educate yourself to know better and stop using the media to educate you or to inform you.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right now, man.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, man.
We're not doing it by choice anymore, though.
That's what
because we all have
for.
We all have to have media in our pockets right now. We're talking on a media device. That's what these are. They're media devices. They're able to inject whatever they want into our brains at any time during the day.
And the good thing about platforms like this and several others is that it gives you a counterbalance to your Fox News, to your CNN, to your MSNBC.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no excuse for a person to say, well, the media told me this, because there are so many outlets you can get an alternate point of view on everything.
In this day and age, there's no excuse to not have some sort of knowledge about something. Knowledge and information is everywhere. It's everywhere, all the time.
Yeah, all over the place.
As long as we teach our kids that on the news, it's actually their opinion, because it doesn't actually have to be news anymore.
No. News has always been slanted. It's always
Oh yeah.
It's always been slanted.
It's propaganda.
That's why you have
exactly.
The most important thing about kids, though, for real, we have to educate ourselves. The leadership start with self.
Yeah, exactly.
In order to educate your kids, because I've seen another problem with that shooting in New York. That bullshit that he had in his head, he got from his folks. You see what I'm saying?
Well, let's be all the way honest with that. Like with this whole thing, a lot of the blame for what happened in Buffalo, and I'm not blaming them, but I'm saying y'all saw this. Anybody with eyes could have seen that coming a mile away. The man showed up there. 3
they said
he rolled prior. They done ran off once before. You had a whole dude that was up there had a whole conversation with
him the day before,
and y'all didn't see nothing wrong with this.
What could they
do? Black neighborhood?
What could they do?
Come on now, let's be all the way under outside of ghetto.
Oh, they could whip some ass.
Ain't a whole lot of white people just stopping at the grocery store to have a conversation with you in the middle of the hood.
But I'm saying, what could they do in New York though? It's not Georgia, bro. What could they do?
Like, they could have put the motherfucker in the hospital. Excuse my language.
That's true.
I don't tell anybody how to handle their business.
You had to call Pookie.
However you
handle this white boy looking bug.
What was he saying though?
If you had to get with the local brothers and be like, listen, This don't look right.
It's all right.
Your man
you
need to go look at this because your grandmother shop at this store, your auntie shop at this store. Your man need to go check.
Right, yeah, word of mouth.
Then that's what you need
There
to
wasn't
do.
no leadership. Again,
What was he saying though that would make
he
it
was
look like
arguing
that's what he
about
was
some
getting ready
type
to do?
of.
Well, no, I'm just saying because a lot of people said he looked out of place. A lot of people, a couple people
But
said he
nobody
looked
checked
out of
them.
place.
Well, Hot Tub is saying nobody checked them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say.
I'm up here looking out of place. I mean, y'all gonna gun me down?
No, Ghetto. I'm gonna
Definitely
say
look out
this.
of place. I ain't gonna tell you that.
Your demeanor, your demeanor, your actions ain't indicative of.
No,
your
I
race.
understand that, but that's why I asked,
But
what was he doing that was out of place?
you come
And
in
what
with
was the conversation?
the same outfit that he had on when he shot all them people. He had on for 3 days in a row. That's number one. You told the guy you camping in the woods nearby.
Right.
What
Okay.
woods is near a black neighborhood where people is camping out? Certain things, man, don't fit our community, and
I got what you mean. Yeah.
we too welcoming as a community. We need to stop. We need to do what everybody else do, basically. If it don't look right in the reference of your community, you have a right to check that.
Yep. If you see the video, it was a black male, young male walking down the street. A white man was he was military, pushing on the little black guy, and he was in his neighborhood talking about you don't belong here. So if they can check us in their neighborhoods, why can't we check them in ours?
Exactly, Skilly.
He pushing on the little black boy talking about you need to go. You don't live around here. I don't know where you coming from.
Skilly is right. The thing is, we're conditioned. We're conditioned. Well, a lot of our people are conditioned to think that no, we can't do that.
They better not check my son.
We can absolutely do that, and we should do that. Look here, man.
I tell you that much. They better not check.
I'm not mad.
Well, I think on all color lines, it's all about mind your own business mentality, and I think that's what we all got ingrained into us. It's like, all right, it ain't bothering me right this second, so I'm not even gonna mess with it. I think we got to get away from it.
There's certain neighborhoods you go in. There's certain neighborhoods you go in, and them folk will come out and be like, "Yo, what you doing here? You don't belong here. You ain't supposed to be here. Ain't about minding no business. It's about this is my community. Your face don't look like it's supposed to be here, and I'm gonna come confront you. Be it an old lady or some young dude you have to talk to it. That's just how it is.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
That's what they do to black people here, bro. They check. My son drive. My son used to work at Harrisita. He live here. Whoop whoop. They want to check on what you doing. XYZ. Nah, dude. Why? Because he black. It's 1.3 out of 6,000 people, right? Yeah. Don't check me.
You in West Virginia, huh?
No, I'm in Virginia, proper Virginia.
Well, our man, we done had a conversation before, man.
I was gonna say we done had that.
I ain't moving, yo.
You having too many issues in your neighborhood.
Nah, if they can have it, I can have it. Every time we the way I carry this shit, if they have it, I can have it. That's how I carry it. Whatever somebody can have, I can have. If you got a boat, I want a boat too. I can have it too.
Well, I saw the comment about
you got the best schools in the country. My kids can go to the best school in the country too.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Anything you can have, I can have. If you can buy it and I got the bread, I can buy it.
I got that in the all black community. I just choose to stay around what makes me more comfortable. I don't have those type of problems. Now, do I have other problems? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't stay in a bad community.
I don't have those problems no more.
Very nice community.
Now they just.
But if your neighbors are your problems and your neighbors are doing that to you and those maybe it's time to get the fuck on. There are other affluent communities with people that look like you. I'm just saying.
I'm not there, but they're not my problem. I'm their problem because they just look.
Y'all got as many crazy people as the white people, though. Just saying.
Turn the fucking music up. I turn the music up. I be on some ghetto shit. Yup. All the stereotypical shit. I make the shit come true.
Hey, Armin, if you did that in my community, you have a problem with me too.
Huh?
You
Man, I'm comfortable
I-
everywhere.
all that time. Now, man, I don't blame your neighbors on that. Now you better have some goddamn respect now.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Armel. I was
You're
getting a little
fine
tired
out
of you.
here.
I was
Man,
getting
what's
tired of
wrong
you in
with you?
Nashville, man. So I know what your neighbors going through.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I see where the problem is, bro. It ain't your neighbors.
It ain't the neighbors.
It ain't neighbors.
It ain't the neighbors, bro.
What you
Hey,
say?
man. This is
I just told him he too much.
Well, the lady has spoke.
I talking about this nigga that in front of the place and cussing us all this and say, no wonder, man, don't become a stereotype.
Because they shouldn't have came at me the wrong way the first time. It was all peaceful at first. Oh, so y'all want to see that nigga? Now you, and that's how. For real, that's seriously how it happened. It was. That's it. They wanted to see a nigga, so I had to show them one.
slow down out there, all right, man. We like you, bro.
Yeah, man.
We rock with you.
That don't
I
fly
don't-
nowhere, man. That
I
ain't.
don't want to see nobody I know on the news.
You doing too much, man. Slow down.
Nah.
Hey, man, look, this been an amazing conversation. I knew it would flip out, especially when I let Armel and Ghetto and Skilly on the same panel. But it goes to show that I got love for everybody. So no, man, this is deep, man.
Yeah, it
And
is.
it's always something to think about. I'll be back on Friday, obviously with Donation Friday, but then next week we'll get back to some more real stuff. I do got something coming up. I think I don't want to put it out there too early, but it's gonna be pretty dope next Wednesday, I believe. Monday gonna be dope too, but Wednesday gonna be dope. So I appreciate everybody checking in, man. I hope you all had a chance to hit the like button. This was dope. I learned a lot, man. Thank you for everybody that came up on the panel. And I be hearing so many. That's why I'm so quiet. Same OG like you quiet, man. I be soaking up everybody's perspective. That's all. Of course, I got my own views, man, but I just like to hear what everybody thinking and then let people get stuff off their chest. So
Appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. What the
Appreciate
best
it always, RJ.
285 in the nation. RGG.
Yeah. Can I add one thing, RGG? If they was really coming after our guns, why are so many states right now as we speak including constitutional carry into their laws? I mean, I think it was Giovanna had mentioned it earlier.
That's a
They
good
telling you the police ain't finna help you, bro. They telling you.
No,
to
I
help
understand that. I understand that. I'm just saying that the states are passing it.
the states know what the business is. It's been you spent all of 2020 with a defund the police movement.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they saying tell you since you don't want the police funded, handle your business. Handle your goddamn.
Exactly. I'm just
That's a great
not
a great part 3 question.
I'm just saying it adds to them selling us more guns. Is all I'm saying. They just big
That
sales.
was one of the most,
That's all they doing.
that was one of the most interesting perspectives I heard tonight, though.
Well, if they willing to sell them, I'm willing to buy them. So
Exactly.
Amen. At a good price.
Ammo and all.
Right.
Hey, man. Everybody stay strapped.
Stay strapped.
Stay strapped.
Get your burners.
Right. Get your burners.
I'm about to get the hell up out of here, man. But Siege, I'm closer than you think.
Siege already.
She ready for the next meetup.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Hey, I'm gonna be there too.
You coming too?
You
coming?
Oh hell yeah, we gonna
All right.
be there.
I'm gonna be looking for you too. If you
We
don't,
should be on that side of the country by then, because it's gonna be at around the same time this time next year, right?
I'm gonna talk bad about you if you don't show up. Too.
It'll be around this time. Yeah.
Armel, could you picture me in West Virginia? Because that's where we.
Virginia. We don't live in West Virginia.
I know, I understand that, but you right next to it.
Let me see your arms. If you want to be like West Virginia, you got to have like tracks and shit in the open.
Come on now, man.
All right, everybody. Please
right.
disregard the last statement that you
That's
heard.
way different.
Shout out to West Virginia and all my people out there. Gotta go. Armel gonna get it.
Kick
Everybody
up dust for the come see about you, bro.
Right.
You know it's true. It's that.